Shadow Squadron, also known as Stellar Assault, is a space combat simulation game for the 32X. It's in the same vein of the Star Wars arcade game we reviewed just, a couple of days ago. You fly around in space and you shoot down the enemy spaceships. You have two ships to choose from. You can choose an autopilot option where you just shoot and the computer flies around, but that's kind of silly. I mean, if you're playing in single player, you want full control of the game, unless you're playing two-player mode. In two-player mode, one player has control of the ship and the other player shoots. In a lot of ways, Shadow Squadron is better than Star Wars Arcade, but in one very crucial way, it's worse. In the way it's better is it feels like Shadow Squadron is a lot more compartmentalized, and it throws you into the gameplay where you actually feel like the pilot. The game starts off and you're on this runway in space. The computer checks all the vital signs of your ship, you take off, and you fly into enemy territory. You get this holographic map which shows you where you are, where all the enemy ships are. It's like a game of chess. It's like before the game starts, everything is planned out for you. The controls of the gameplay are almost identical to Star Wars Arcade. You can speed up, you can slow down, and you shoot. When you hold the shoot button, you release this special attack. In the ship I'm playing as, this special attack is this big torpedo that explodes on impact. It's very powerful. And it's really satisfying when you shoot it at a really big ship and just watch it explode into a million pieces. You feel like you've destroyed the Death Star when you take down these big carrier ships. The two basic type of enemies are the big squadron ships and the small fighter ships. There's different types of strategies you can implement. Like, you don't have to take out the tiny little fighter ships at first and then go for the big ships, or take out the big ships and then focus on the smaller ships. Really, all types of ships shoot projectiles at you, so you might as well just destroy whatever's closer to you. I'll tell you this much, the small fighter ships are really hard to hit. And that's where the game is worse than Star Wars Arcade. Hitting the small ships is very, very grueling. It's like real space combat. Like, you really have to be a master here. They're always far away from you. You have to have pinpoint accuracy to hit them. And of course, your timing just has to be spectacular. Taking out the big ships is no problem. You just fly them, shoot them a few times, get them weak, and then hit them with the big, powerful torpedo that explodes, and that takes most of them out. Probably one of the most endearing things in this game is the music. I love the music in this game. It's this upbeat, futuristic techno. It's just so fantastic. I don't know if it fits too much with the gameplay, but it's just a really great tune. It feels like music from one of those really great 80s animes you'd watch as a little kid. It's a spaceflight sim, but the music feels like something from Nadia the Secret of Blue Water. For how simple the gameplay is, which is just, fly and shoot, the game is deceptively complex. It's like the people who made it did a lot of research on what a spaceship would be like. You have shields of two very complicated radar systems, one being on the bottom middle and one being holographic that interacts with your gameplay to show you how far away ships are and if ships are above or below you. Final verdict here? Well, it's simple. Once you master the somewhat complicated task of shooting down the small fighters, this game becomes very addictive. The story in the game is almost non-existent, but this game did what any great space fighting simulator is supposed to do. This is a game that grabs you from start to finish, and it makes you feel like a real space pilot. If you play this in a dark room with no noise from the outside, it's like being sucked into a good book, because you will feel like you're in the game. And also, as I've mentioned, the ship's hub has a very complicated reticular, which is just fascinating to check out while you play. Shadow Squadron, aka Stellar Assault, gets an official stanburdman rating of an 8.5. 8.3 out of 10. It's definitely a Sega 32X game that's worth checking out. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, my friends.